preacher and what he's looking for on earth. Whenever I say to Fountain Gate Chapel pastors, I say, I'm not a pastor. Some of them get offended. And I tell them,
Et je leur dis,
one of my greatest regrets is to start a church and to start a ministry like even EAM. Because these organizations pull me back. I wish I was that preacher. Like Enoch, who had no church.
Comme Enoch, qui n'avait pas d'église.
Like Elijah, who had no church.
Comme Élisée.
Like Ezekiel, who had no church.
Ézéchiel, qui n'avait pas d'église.
I wish I was that preacher.
J'aurais souhaité être ce prédicateur.
Who is not managing an organization made of unwilling people. But I wish I was a lone ranger. A man walking in the wilderness all by myself. And all I want is God.
Qui ne gère pas une organisation, mais j'aurais souhaité.
Honorable.
Parce que
sometimes the organizational structures, they frustrate me.
Les structures frustrent.
Something inside me
Il y a quelque chose à l'intérieur
wants to rebel against the status quo. Something inside me is saying, this religion is not for me. One day I was eating.
Un jour je mangeais.
And I was reading the Bible.
Et je lisais la Bible.
The Holy Spirit told me clearly.
Le Saint-Esprit m'a dit clairement.
You cannot combine this book and eating.
Que tu ne veux pas lire et puis manger au même moment.
He said from today.
Il a dit à partir d'aujourd'hui.
Don't ever read this book whilst you are eating. I said, Lord, I've never heard this.
J'ai dit, Seigneur, j'ai jamais entendu ça.
He said, this book is supposed to make you cry.
Il a dit, ce livre est censé te faire pleurer.
Why are you reading it and eating?
Pourquoi tu lis et manges?
You are reading about Peter walking on sea. You've never walked on a bucket of water. And instead of crying, you are eating.
Tu vois Pierre qui marche sur les eaux. Toi, tu n'as jamais marché même sur un seau d'eau.
Listen.
Et au lieu de manger,
Any Christian,
tout chrétien, écoutez.
who is reading the Bible and eating, you are a shameless Christian.
Qui lit et puis qui mange.
You have no conscience.
Ayez honte. Vous n'êtes pas conscient.
How do you read about Peter?
Comment est-ce que vous voyez Pierre?
Attention. How do you read about Peter, who Dorcas is dead, and they've laid Dorcas down in Joppa, and they sent to Lydda, and they are telling Peter, Dorcas is dead, we have put her down. Come from Lydda and come and wake her up, and we know you can raise her up from the dead. And this man comes and they know he's not coming to bury the dead. He's not coming to do a burial ceremony. He's coming to do a raising the dead ceremony. Now, and he comes and he raises Dorcas up from the dead. You are reading this story. You've never raised a housefly from the dead. And you are eating. You are a shameless pastor. Shameless. Listen, by the time you are reading that thing, you should be crying out unto God. God, what kind of pastor am I?
Dorcas était morte et on a dit à Pierre de venir ressusciter Dorcas. Et cet homme était là, il est venu pour pouvoir ressusciter cette fille. Et vous n'avez jamais été en mesure de même ressusciter une mouche. Et comment vous pouvez être en train de lire la Bible et manger au même moment?
Let me tell you this.
Je vais vous dire quelque chose.
When you read the Bible,
quand vous lisez la Bible,
today's church,
dans l'église d'aujourd'hui,
if that was the church,
si à l'époque c'était l'église,
then today's thing,
alors aujourd'hui,
we can't recognize it.
On ne peut pas la reconnaître.
Our own is come to church.
Nous on vient à l'église,
sing a little bit,
on chante un peu,
dance a little bit,
on danse un peu.
We go to our miracle services and everything is choreography.
On va au culte de miracle et puis tout c'est seulement les chorégraphies.
We go to, you know people, it's so disturbing. I sit down.
C'est tellement dérangeant. Je m'assois et puis.
Every birthday of mine,
à chaque anniversaire,
I'm more troubled than the previous one.
Je suis plus troublé que le précédent.
I'm saying, God, when?
Mais je dis Dieu, quand?
When?
Quand?
When will we see you scatter the church as it is?
Quand est-ce qu'on te verra disperser l'église?
Where we are sitting down too much. We are talking too much. We are singing too much. I want the kind of service whereby now somebody screams, my cancer is gone. Somebody screams, I was a lame person, now I can walk. I want a service where the people will take over the service from the preacher. I'm looking for a real revival. I'm looking for a kind of service where tomorrow nobody will tell us to come here at 6 p.m. but by 5 a.m. This place is full, and you come to the altar and it's full of prayer and meditation, and they are singing and they are worshiping, and for 1 week and for 1 month and for 6 months and for 1 year there is a revival. Lord, send down a revival among us. We want to see God and we want to see the Bible again.